The man you're seeing here is Kevin Penn of Decatur, Alabama, working in his liquor store all the way back in March 2020. He just called the police to report a robbery at the store while the suspect was still at the scene of the crime. As we see Penn, and what happens next is disgusting, but sadly not unexpected, as one officer clocks Penn while his fellow deputies wrestle him to the ground, instantly suspecting he is the robbery suspect and not the store owner who actually made the original complaint. Safe to say that we all know why the officers responded this way. Penn's firearm was sitting on the counter throughout the interaction. As a result from the officer's punch, Penn broke his jaw, lost teeth, picking up the classic police catch-all charge, too, of obstructing the officer's investigation into the robbery complaint that Penn himself called in. Later in the security footage from Penn's store, we do see the alleged robber calmly talking to the police and presumably proclaiming his innocence. The officers did apparently make an arrest for shoplifting, although they never released the suspect's name or the charges. AL.com reports the police spun this incident into a shoplifting complaint instead of a formal robbery, with Officer Justin Rippon claiming in his police report that Penn refused to obey lawful commands to step away from his firearm so the officers could fully investigate the scene, as we continue to see the officers hold Penn to the ground while he's already handcuffed and surrendered. Remember, this is what Penn was subjected to because he dared call in the police for help when he actually needed them, which unfortunately mirrors what far too many Black and brown Americans, low-income Americans, face. Body cam footage that wasn't released to the public but recorded by local journalists shows another angle of the incident.
Top of your head. I'm coming through right here.
You think the suspect was arrested?
Now, of course, the Decatur PD cut off and slowed down the body cam footage to fit the narrative they are trying to push, instead of, well, showing the full scope of what actually happened here. Again, too often what we're used to, and why police should be held to account for their actions, just like, I don't know, the rest of us. Also why we should not accept their version of events wholesale. We just shouldn't. Given what we've witnessed, well, all too often, why should we? And it's also another reason, yet another one, we should listen to the complaints of Black and brown people. They tell us, we tell you. This is exactly the experience that is common in certain communities. Now, the lawsuit. Penn filed one, of course, seeking damages for the pain and suffering caused by the punch to the face by Officer Justin Rippon. According to Black Enterprise, the officer was not disciplined. Decatur's police chief comments, well, they're telling. Chief Nate Allen said, "I would much rather have a punch than an officer-involved shooting," noting most incidents of an armed suspect end in death. Wow. Maybe you won't be surprised to learn instead of doing right by the victim of a police beatdown, they actually prosecuted him. Put Penn on trial. News 19 in Decatur, Alabama reports Penn was found not guilty of obstruction of justice, which is often a go-to trumped-up charge police use to leverage a person they've actually wronged. And do you notice how there is still no mention of charges being filed against Officer Justin Rippon? He assaulted Penn. You try doing what the officer did, or better yet, don't, unless you're in full uniform.